Hello, Stampin' friends. Today is week 3 of my Christmas series. So every week I'm coming to you in the month of July with a project for Christmas. And this is week 3 already. So if you missed week 1 and 2, you can go back and check those out. Today I have a fun project, and it is called the front flap card. So I will show you how to make this. I'm going to be using the One Horse Open Sleigh Designer Series paper and also Regal Reindeer. So I will be showing you how you can just use the Designer Series paper to make this front flap card, or you can also make it using a stamp set, and I've chosen the Regal Reindeer. My name is Terri Hartley. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and you're watching my channel, Rustic Barn Cards. Last week was my Christmas week 2, but it was also my card class for the month of July. So let me show you those cards, because if you put an order in $35 or more, I will send you the card kit to make these cards. So last week I used the Season of Chic, and we used Blueberry Bushel cardstock in all 3 of the cards. And then here is the 3rd card. So you will receive enough ribbon for each of these cards. And again, this is my card class for July, and it's week 2 of my Christmas series, which you can go back and watch. And in the link you can find in the link in the description, you can find where to click and place your order, and I will send you the card kit. And then the first week I used the Designer Series paper, One Horse Open Sleigh. And just real quickly, I will show you these cards that basically the Designer Series paper stole the show. They made the cards. So these are the cards that I shared with you, and I showed how to cut your Designer Series paper to make these adorable, quick, and beautiful Christmas cards in week 1 of my 4-part Christmas series. And this is week 3. So let me turn the camera down and let's start stamping. Okay, so let me show you this beautiful Designer Series paper. It is an online exclusive, but you can find it in my shop. There's a link in the description, and it's called One Horse Open Sleigh. And just really quickly, I just wanted to show you this beautiful paper. I don't even think I have all of there's more sheets of this Designer Series paper than I'm even showing you, but it is simply gorgeous. And then the other side, you have more solids and not as busy on the other side. So again, this is One Horse Open Sleigh, and basic black, boho blue, Cajun craze, crumb cake, early espresso, lemon lolly, lost lagoon, misty moonlight, mossy meadow, oat olive, pebbled path, pecan pie, petal pink, pool party, real red, and wild wheat. So a lot of different colors will go with this Designer Series paper. And then I'm also going to be using on the card that we're going to make today, the Regal Reindeer. But then I'm going to show you a card. Actually, I'll show you a couple cards at the end. But one, I just used the Designer Series paper. But the one we're going to make today, we're going to be using this image here of the reindeer and Merry Christmas. I love this stamp set. It has the pine trees and 2 reindeers, a rabbit, some stars, and 3 sentiments, and then a person holding an apple. Plus, there are dies that goes with this set too, and this is in our annual catalog. So let me go ahead and bring in my trimmer so we can make the card base. And it is simple and easy. And I did get this idea from Karen Titus, so I wanted to give her credit. So I have an 8.5 by 11 pool party cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this at 5.5. So I have 5.5 by 8.5, and this will make 2 cards. I'm going to lay one aside, and then I'm going to turn this and score it at 4.25. So this is just so far we're just doing a regular card base. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fold this in half. You probably wouldn't need necessarily to fold it in half before you do the next step, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to open up our cardstock. I'm going to put it back in the trimmer. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut 1.25 from the top down to the score line. So again, on this left-hand side, I'm going to trim 1.25 down to the score line. And our dark, I'll get our scoring blade out of the way. Our dark blade is the cutting. And on the side, you may not be able to see, but there is a, maybe I can get it a little bit closer. Right here, there is a little mark, and that is where we would want to stop. And so we'll line that up right with our card, our score line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around and again put it at 1.25. And then I'm going to start right at the score line and go down. Let me move this out of the way. And then let's go back out. And then here is our card. So a regular card base, and then we just cut 1.25 on this side and 1.25 on this side to the score line. So now I'm going to add glue on each of these smaller strips. So I'm going to add some adhesive. And then we will fold this down. And then we will fold our other side down. Make sure you get that all the way to the edge there. And then this is our card base, the front flap card. Really quick and easy, right? I have basic white, and this is going to go the inside of our cards. I'm going to go ahead and add that, and we'll add some adhesive. And we'll go ahead and line this up, and you could most certainly stamp on this before you add it into your card. This basic white layer for the inside is 2 3/4 by 4. So again, 2 3/4 by 4 for the inside layer. And then I have already cut my designer series paper, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. And each of these strips here are 1 inch by 4. This is 1 inch by 4. And then the middle is 2 3/4 by 4. So it's the same as the inside layer. But we're going to go ahead and adhere these to the outside of our card, and then we will do some decorations. And I want you to notice, and I'm going to show you, you can, if you would like to make this kind of like a panel where it all matches and goes together. If you want the scene to be the same, then you would cut 1 inch from your designer series paper. Then cut the 2 3/4 by 4. And then cut your 1 by 4. And then you'll have a scene. So now we're just going to add some adhesive. And we'll place it down on the left-hand side. I'm going to raise that up so I can see that I want to get it even or in the middle the best I can. And then we will go ahead and add some adhesive to our middle piece. And I want to line up so this goes straight across. And then we're going to add some adhesive on our last strip. And line that up. And so now we're going to do some decoration. So I'm going to lay that aside. And I'm going to bring in a scrap of basic white and our black ink and our reindeer. Now I will not have the entire reindeer on our cardstock. We just want part of him. So ink that up, and we will go ahead and stamp about right there. And then we're going to do a little coloring. Move that out of the way. So we are going to, I have one already ready, but just really quick, what I wanted to show you is that I'm using crumb cake for the reindeer. And this is light and dark, and doesn't really matter what you start with. I'm going to start with the dark because I want to go ahead and go over the dark places that are already there. And then come in with the light. And do the antlers. I'm going to use the smaller. I think that will work better. And I would do all of the reindeer. And then I used wild wheat, and I used light wild wheat. And colored those bells and also the belt. Then I use light real red for the little bell. And then I use Pool Party for the blanket. So just pretend that that is all colored. I have one already done. And then I'm bringing in a punch, and this is our 2 and 4th punch. And then I'm just going to line him up. And he's ready to be mounted. So again, like I said, I already have the reindeer ready to go. And then I used our 2 3/8 punch, and I punched out a circle using Pool Party. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and add those together. And it gives a nice little edge of the Pool Party. And then we're going to turn this over and add some dimensionals. And then I've already stamped on basic white scrap Merry Christmas using the Merry Christmas stamp from our Regal Reindeer stamp set. And then I used the double oval punch, but I just used the smaller one. And now we're going to go ahead and bring our card base back in. And we're going to add our reindeer to the middle section of our card, the middle flap. So we'll just add that about right here. And then now we're going to add our Merry Christmas. And I'm going to place the Merry Christmas right up here. But I'm going to put a dimensional on the right-hand side only. So I'm not going to add any glue or anything over here. So that way I can place it right up here. Merry Christmas. And you can open the flap and then do your writing. Now you can leave it just like this, or you can add some embellishments. So I have 2 choices for you that I think would be good. You might come up with another choice. This is the ombre matte dots. And we have Pool Party. So we can most certainly use the Pool Party on this card. With the open or designer series paper, the One Horse Open Sleigh, it also comes with a stamp set, which I'm not using today, and it also comes with these snowflakes embellishments. And you'll have a sheet of snowflakes that are smaller, and then you'll have another sheet of larger snowflakes. So again, we could most certainly use, add some snowflakes on this card. And I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to use the snowflakes. So let me grab my Take Your Pick tool, and we could add any. I'm going to go ahead and add the white snowflakes. And I think that went right over here. Let's see if I can pick that up. And we're going to add one right there. And so make it look like it is snowing. And let's go ahead and add another one. If I can get it going the right way, let's see. There we go. So here is our front flap card using the Designer Series paper, One Horse Open Sleigh. Quick and easy, but it looks a lot more difficult than what it really is, doesn't it? So let me lay this aside and let me show you another card. Now this card I used the same designer series paper as I did here, only I used a different card base. So I used Balmy Blue. So I used Balmy Blue on this card base, but everything else is exactly the same. I did not add any embellishments on this card, but I most certainly could. Now the third card is one where I didn't, the only thing I used out of the Regal Reindeer stamp set was the Merry Christmas. The rest of the card is made up with the beautiful designer series paper, One Horse Open Sleigh. So here is our front flap card. I used boho blue cardstock, and I used wild wheat cardstock for the Merry Christmas, and then stamped that in black ink. So again, here are the 3 cards, but I do want to show you how to cut the designer series paper. So stick with me just a little bit longer so I can show you that. So I'm bringing in the 6x6 designer series paper. Now you have some decisions to make. If you want more trees to show, then you could turn it this way. And we know that we want everything to be 4 inches, so you could just go ahead and trim it off at 4 inches. But I would like some of this to show here. And if I didn't want quite as much, I could go ahead and I think I'll take maybe just 1/4 of an inch off. So just a little strip. And then I'm going to turn it around this way. And I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the trimmer, and I'm going to make this 4 inches. So I'm going to turn it this way because I do want some of this to show. So I'm going to put it at 4, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay this aside. And then this is the piece that we're going to use for our card. So again, I want this to be 1. Then I'm going to cut 2 3/4 because 2 3/4 because I want it to be a scene. So I want it to match. And then I will cut 1 inch. I've already cut cardstock Lemon Lolly. So I cut my card base, and then I went ahead and cut 1 1/4 on each side down to the score line. So now all I need to do is just add some adhesive. And we will fold this down, just like we did in the other card. And we will fold this down. And then I'm just going to lay this here. I'm not going to go ahead and make the actual card, but I wanted you to see how I actually took a 6x6 designer series paper and was able to get the scene that I wanted. Now, again, now you can just decorate. Maybe you want a bow or just put Merry Christmas. But again, it's a really quick and easy card. So I hope that you liked my cards today. It's a front flap card. Here are my 3 cards. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, Rustic Barn Cards, I would really appreciate that. And again, this is week 3 of my Christmas series. And I have one more next week. And we're going to make a fun card next week. So I hope that you will be here for that. I'm Terri Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Don't forget, if you would like my card class for July, the 3 cards that I made last week in week 2, there is a link to shop with me in the description and information. So have a great week. Thank you for being here. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.